to bring up my friend, Danielle Marolf, who is running for District 1.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Marolf, and I'm running for District 1, and it's an at-large district. Hey, oh my gosh, people here I haven't seen in a long time. And so the important thing about at-large is that everybody in Pinellas County can vote for this seat. So it doesn't matter where you live. If you live in Pinellas County, you can vote. So those of you that live in Clearwater would vote for both Stacy and for myself, and then some of the other candidates. So I have been a resident of Pinellas County for about 25 years, and I've been in education for about 20, and I've owned my own school for 13. And the reason why I started a school was because I had children. I had 2 of them who were significantly dyslexic, and I did not understand what dyslexia was at the time, and one very gifted child. I mean, they're all gifted, but one who was not dyslexic and also needed a whole lot more than what the school could give her. And we started out in public education and actually spent some time here at this location for a little while in another hybrid school. Went through private school, went through fundamental school, and just could not quite find the thing that fit. So that's why I started Wellmont Academy. And it has grown to be something where we specialize not just in a hybrid program, but also very specifically in dyslexia. And so I have a real heart for seeing our reading scores increase because we understand what we need to do with phonics. And so with phonics, the key is to introduce a program and run that as your main program with your elementary students that goes through all 74 phonograms. Most of the programs that are out there only use 50. So you've heard of programs where they have sight words. There is no such thing as a sight word. If you use a real phonics program where they use all 74 phonograms, your students will have a rule for every single word they ever spell. But we don't know that because we don't teach it, right? I know that because now that's become my specialty through my school, right? So I'd love to bring that to the board and say, hey, let's introduce an actual real reading curriculum to these kids, right? So the main reason that I'm running, though, is that I see kids and I talk to teachers who come out of the public school system because it's so bad. And that makes my heart sad because not everybody can afford a private education, even with scholarshiping, right? We're going to end up with 100,000 kids in public school who cannot afford a private education, and they deserve to have a great education too, right? Maybe they don't have all the things I have at Wellmont or that you guys have here at CCA, but like really, we need to have a heart for these people because just because they don't have the money to afford something more expensive does not mean they should be forgotten, right? Okay, so the 3 things that are the most important to me in my platform are academic rigor, which I talked about phonics, parental engagement, and having safe schools. And like Stacy said, I'm a proponent of getting back to the basics too. You know, phonics, history, English, math, the basics, right? Actual history, right? We all want to see actual, yes. I was just going to talk about that. So included in the basics is constitutional literacy, constitutional studies, financial literacy, art, music, right? These are things they want to kind of forget about, and it's important. We need a well-balanced culture. Trades are important. It is my personal opinion, and I know we agree on this, my personal opinion now is that every single student, regardless of whether they are college-bound or not, should graduate with a skill. I don't care whether they go to college. It's great if they go to college, but they need a skill, right? And then collegiate prep and standardized testing. I'm into standardized testing. I think it's great, but the amount that we have is over the top. So our poor teachers and our kids are tested to death. They're drowning in testing. It's not really that necessary. So I think we need to bring that back down to like palatable levels where they can actually finish curriculums and they're not being interrupted all the time with testing. Parental engagement has to be a top priority for us too. Parents should know what's happening with their kids in school, right? They need to know when they're struggling internally. Schools should be held accountable to parents, and parents should be able to participate in school decisions like what comes in and out of your school library, right? I would be a voice and an advocate for parents. Lastly, our students and our teachers all deserve safe schools, right? Safe inside from bullying and insubordination, and safe outside. We've done a pretty good job of keeping them safe on the outside, but the insides are kind of still a mess. So we need to pay attention to that. I am not in favor of this idea of restorative practices. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's basically kids who develop a rap sheet and they never ever get dealt with and they just go back to class, basically, if I could just put it in a nutshell. So I am a proponent of having consequences when they do something wrong. But supporting them still, restoring them, but consequences. So what can you do for us as school board members? So for Stacy, I know she's getting petitions signed. For me, I'm not really getting that many petitions signed because my petitions that are required for my race are 7,000 petitions. That's a lot of petitions. So I think that I've kind of determined I'm going to go ahead and pay the fee because it's a better use of my time to spend time with people and to try to get as much literature out in the county as I can because it's such a huge county, right? So if you can give, I have envelopes in the back. If you can give towards that fee tonight, anything is helpful. $10, $20, $50, whatever you can give is great. The other thing is if you can follow us on Facebook. We're both just under our own names. We've both got palm cards back there, literature, we've got QR codes. Just follow us, support us, share that information with people. Send it to them as messages in Instagram and in Facebook. And I just really thank you guys for coming. I want to introduce Bruce Rector. So he is a wonderful man that I have come to see and hear more often, and I'm going to get to know him better. But he's running for the mayor of Clearwater, and I think that he has an amazing candidacy. So I welcome him to come speak to you about that. Come on up, Bruce.